Welcome to 5 Minute Magic from the Mindful Creative Podcast, a short bonus episode sharing tips and insights from the pages of the book of the same title. Every week I'll be sharing 1 or 2 ideas that can give you an actionable takeaway for your creative process, your work, your business, or just food for thought for the weekend ahead. These episodes share content from the audiobook, and you can find the link to the full version in the show notes below. Today we're talking about how to get into the flow. And we are following on a previous 5 Minute Magic episode where we talked about the basics, but this is very much the ingredients list, the instructions, how to get into the flow. And the more I think about it, the more I talk about creativity with various people around the world in various settings, the more I can't avoid still making that parallel that we are creative athletes. Because in this section, how to get into the flow, when I reread it again, it's like going for a run or going for a cycle or going to the gym. You're going to succeed in any of these by making the optimal conditions, by getting yourself set up. So in today's episode, we'll talk about how to get into the flow by setting your goals, then how to get rid of distractions, how to have a routine and keep to it, how to do warm-up tasks to get our creativity going, how to set the time for the creativity, and how to push ourselves a little. And the more I think about it, it really is just like being an athlete or being a wannabe athlete, because creativity is so alike pushing ourselves physically. It's just we're pushing our mind into being in the right place, how to train better, how to get stronger, how to get more resilient, how to not injure ourselves by doing the wrong things. And this episode follows on the previous episode from last week, where a featured quote from Ken Robinson, who says, "The gardener doesn't make a plant grow. The job of a gardener is to create optimal conditions." And I believe, as creative people, we are the gardener as well as the plant, and we should do the optimal things for both of our sides to make our creativity grow.
How to get into the flow. There are plenty of practical things you can do to not necessarily induce a flow state, but certainly to shorten the odds on hitting one and being able to fully embrace it. Set your goals. If you don't know where you're going, you'll never get there. This is where it helps to know your brief, break it down into smaller logical steps, and aim to achieve what is manageable given your circumstances, i.e., unless you're very confident in your ability to thrive under pressure and love doing so, then don't leave a week's worth of work until Friday lunchtime. Get rid of distractions. This step sounds obvious, but in our increasingly distraction-filled world, our dopamine receptors can very subtly and sometimes very slyly take our minds away from our creative process. If you're settling down to some creative work, then log out of your social media accounts, or even delete the apps. They only take a few seconds to reinstall later on. Put your phone on Do Not Disturb. Tell anyone else around that you're going to be working. And either create a quiet environment, or, if music helps, stick something on. You can even do a brief meditation or yoga practice for focus before you start. The key is to be in the best position to dive into your work and fully immerse yourself in it. If you've ever felt so deeply involved in a creative task that you've almost needed time to readjust to the real world afterwards, then you know what you're aiming for. Have a routine and keep to it. As much as flow states can feel like magic, especially when they take us out of clock time and make all the other stuff going on around us seem unimportant, they're more likely to appear when you take solid actions like showing up regularly. If you clock in and make the effort time after time, you'll be training your mind in the habit of creativity. From there, you're far closer to a flow state than you are when you're showing up sporadically and half-heartedly. Do a warm-up task. Before embarking on a project or a day's work, it can help to loosen up the creative muscle by doing a warm-up exercise. This could be something as seemingly trivial as doodling or a little bit of automatic writing. It's the equivalent of a musician tuning their instrument and playing a few scales or favourite riffs to get their fingers warmed up. Set your time. If you want to hit a flow state, then make sure you've got enough time to do so. If you've made the effort to get your optimal conditions just right, then you don't want to find you only have 5 minutes left before you have to go and fetch the kids or a similar life task. Likewise, keep your time allotted in manageable chunks. Planning to work from dawn till dusk without a break won't heighten your chances of hitting a state of flow. It'll wear you out. Push yourself a little. Challenge yourself to go beyond the edges of your comfort zone. Remember, states of flow occur when we respond to challenges that we're not used to but are equal to. So if you've got various positive habits instilled, then you'll have the strength and confidence to go further than you have before. By implementing these simple rules and tasks around your creative practice, you'll be creating the optimal conditions for both growth and depth.